going somewhere.
Princess! Ethan Bradshaw's voice dripped with menace as 5 massive athletes slowly tightened their circle. Madison Hayes stood alone in the empty parking lot. Her beat-up Honda Civic just meters away, but might as well have been miles. "Come closer, I dare you," Ethan sneered, nodding to his pack. They moved like wolves stalking prey, heavy footsteps echoing on cold concrete. Madison backed away, trembling hands gripping her backpack straps. She counted silently, in her head 5. 4, 3, 2. They were about to make the biggest mistake of their lives. Before we dive deeper into this shocking confrontation, I want to take a moment to say thank you for being here. Stories like Madison's need to be heard, and your support makes that possible. If this resonates with you or reminds you of someone facing similar struggles, please hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps these important stories reach those who need to hear them most. And if you want to support more content like this, there's a thanks button right beneath this video. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps us continue shining light on these crucial issues. Now, let's return to that parking lot where everything was about to change. The afternoon sun cast long shadows across Westbridge Elite Academy's sprawling campus as students filtered out after another day of privilege and pretense. To most observers, Madison Hayes was just another scholarship kid trying to survive in a world of trust funds and legacy admissions. She kept her head down, clutched her second-hand textbooks, and navigated hallways lined with trophy cases celebrating decades of athletic dominance. Nobody noticed how she mapped every security camera location. Nobody caught the slight smile when she discovered the parking lot cameras had been vandalized again, spray paint covering the lenses, in what looked like random vandalism but followed a suspicious pattern. The administration blamed it on kids from the public school across town. But Madison knew better. She'd been documenting these coincidences for 2 months now. In the boys' locker room, testosterone and arrogance created a toxic cloud thicker than the Axe body spray. Ethan Bradshaw held court from his throne, a bench beneath his MVP awards and newspaper clippings. At 6'3" and 230 pounds of cultivated muscle, he was everything Westbridge celebrated: wealthy, white, and winning. His father ran the school like a personal kingdom, and Ethan treated it as his birthright. Check this out. Ethan pulled out his phone, scrolling through what his teammates called the Hunt List, a digital trophy case of conquered girls. 23 names, each with ratings, comments, and strategies for breaking them down. "That new scholarship bitch thinks she's too good for us, always rushing to her car, pretending she doesn't see me." Marcus Thompson, defensive linebacker with hands like sledgehammers, leaned in with interest. Madison Hayes, the one who got perfect SATs. "Perfect SATs won't help when we teach her about the real world," Tyler Mitchell added, cracking his knuckles. The sound echoed off metal lockers like breaking bones. Jake Rodriguez and Devin Washington completed their pack, each one a starter, each one protected by athletic privilege and administrative blindness. They'd perfected their hunting technique over 3 years: isolate, intimidate, dominate. The school's whispered warnings about staying away from the football players after dark might as well have been part of orientation. What they didn't know was that Madison had been listening from the adjacent equipment room, her phone recording every word through the ventilation grate. She'd discovered this acoustic quirk her first week, when she'd hidden from Ethan's initial advances. Now it served a different purpose. Her phone buzzed with another message. The number was blocked, but she recognized the pattern Ethan had been escalating for weeks. First came the compliments about her body in the hallways, then photos taken without consent, her bending to get books from her locker, walking to class, eating lunch alone. The messages grew darker, more explicit, promising to show her what she was missing and put her in her place. Madison documented everything with meticulous precision, screenshots saved to multiple cloud accounts, backup recordings on encrypted drives, detailed logs with times, dates, and witnesses. She'd learned from the mistakes of others girls who'd tried to report Ethan only to have evidence mysteriously disappear. Accusations dismissed, reputations destroyed. Rachel Martinez knew this pain firsthand. Madison's roommate in their cramped apartment off campus had survived Ethan's attention last year, though survived was a generous term for the shell she'd become. Late at night, when nightmares woke her screaming, Rachel would whisper about the party where her drink tasted wrong, the missing hours, the photos that appeared online before vanishing just as quickly when lawyers got involved. "He picks girls like us," Rachel had warned on Madison's first day. "Scholarship kids, minorities, anyone without power." The football team has this tradition, they call it Welcome Week, but it lasts all year. They compete to see who can collect the most. Madison had listened, comforted, and quietly planned. Unlike the others, she had advantages they couldn't see. 8 years of Muay Thai training had given her more than just physical skills. It had taught her patience, strategy, and the art of appearing weak while preparing to strike. She'd found the gym by accident after her father's death, when her mother worked 3 jobs to keep them afloat. Master Somchai, a former champion from Thailand, ran a tiny school above a laundromat. He'd taken one look at the angry, scared 8-year-old girl and seen potential. "You want to fight because you hurt," he'd said in broken English. "I teach you to fight because you care." The training had been brutal. Hours of conditioning until her shins turned to iron. Thousands of elbow strikes until the motion became as natural as breathing. Sparring sessions where she learned to read opponents, find weaknesses, wait for the perfect moment. By 15, she'd earned her black belt and competed nationally, though she kept the trophies hidden in storage. Madison slipped out of the equipment room and headed to the bathroom, where she performed her new daily ritual. She checked each of the 7 cameras hidden in her clothes, tiny devices no bigger than buttons, purchased with months of saved tutoring money. Her phone showed all feeds active and recording. The specialized security app she'd coding herself uploaded everything in real time to servers in 3 different countries. In the mirror, she saw what everyone else saw, 5 foot 2 inches of apparent vulnerability. Oversized thrift store clothes hiding lean muscle. Thick glasses obscuring eyes that tracked every movement with predator awareness. The perfect camouflage in an ecosystem where predators thought they were apex. Madison pulled out her tactical smartphone, a piece of hardware that would surprise anyone who thought scholarship kids survived on hand-me-downs. This military-grade device featured capabilities that transformed evidence collection into an art form. Multi-angle recording with AI-enhanced stabilization captured footage that courts couldn't dismiss as unclear or edited. Blockchain encryption created immutable timestamps, making every piece of evidence legally bulletproof. The cloud backup system, protected by quantum encryption, ensured nothing could be deleted or tampered with. The same technology federal prosecutors relied on for organized crime cases. Every threat, every assault, every moment of harassment was being professionally documented in formats that would stand up in any courtroom. Her phone buzzed again. This time it was a text from an unknown number, but the message made her blood run cold. Parking lot, after school. Come alone, or we share those photos of your roommate from last year. You have 5 minutes after final bell. Madison's jaw clenched. Using Rachel as leverage crossed a line from harassment into something darker. She typed back a single word, fine. The rest of the day crawled by with agonizing slowness. In AP Chemistry, she caught Ethan staring at her from across the lab, making obscene gestures when the teacher turned away. His teammates snickered, already anticipating the afternoon's entertainment. Other students noticed too, but years of conditioning had taught them to look away, to pretend they didn't see the predators circling. During lunch, Madison sat with Rachel, who'd gone pale reading the threat over her shoulder. "Don't go," Rachel begged. "They're planning something worse than usual. I heard them in the hallway. They were talking about teaching you a permanent lesson." "I know," Madison said quietly, adjusting one of her hidden cameras. "That's what I'm counting on." Rachel grabbed her arm. "This isn't a movie. These guys, they've hurt people, really hurt them. Remember Sarah Chen? She tried to fight back and ended up in the hospital. They said she fell down the stairs. But everyone knows." "I remember." Madison interrupted. "I also remember that she had no evidence, no witnesses, and no training. I have all three." The final bell rang at 3:15 p.m., and Madison moved with deliberate slowness. She wanted the parking lot empty, wanted them confident in their isolation. Her steps echoed in deserted hallways as other students rushed to escape. Through windows, she watched the normal kids pile into expensive cars, heading home to safety they took for granted. The parking lot stretched before her like an arena. October air bit sharp and cold, fallen leaves swirling in small cyclones. Her Honda Civic sat alone in the far corner, strategically parked where she'd mapped the blind spots of the vandalized cameras, but Ethan's crew had chosen their ambush point well between her and the car, with the building blocking views from the street. They emerged from behind vehicles like sharks rising from dark water. Ethan led the pack. Letterman jacket stretched across massive shoulders. Marcus flanked his right. Tyler, his left. Jake and Devon completed the circle, cutting off escape routes with practiced precision. "Right on time," Ethan called out, voice carrying across empty asphalt. "Good girl. See, you can follow instructions when properly motivated." Madison stopped 20 feet away, hands visible but relaxed. Her breathing remained steady, in for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Master Somchai's voice echoed in her memory. Control breath, control mind. Control mind, control body. Control body, control fight. "I'm here," she said, voice deliberately shaky. "What do you want?" Ethan laughed, the sound ugly and entitled. "What do I want? Respect, gratitude. You walk around here like you're better than us, with your perfect grades and your scholarship bullshit. Time someone taught you where you belong." "Which is where, exactly?" Madison asked, shifting her weight subtly to a fighting stance disguised as nervous fidgeting. "On your knees?" Tyler suggested with a leer that made Madison's skin crawl. "Or on your back," Marcus added, "dealer's choice." The pack laughed, moving closer with synchronization born from years of coordinated violence on the field. They'd done this before the formation. The intimidation, the way they boxed in prey. Madison recognized it from footage she'd gathered, testimonies she'd read in old police reports that never went anywhere. "You know," Madison said conversationally, buying time as her smartwatch silently activated its emergency protocols. What you're doing right now violates 5 different federal statutes: Title IX sexual harassment, criminal conspiracy, assault with intent. Shut up, Ethan snarled, his facade of control cracking. You think your big words mean anything? My dad owns this school, owns the police chief, owns judges. You're nothing, just another charity case we let in to make our diversity numbers look good. He stepped closer, close enough that Madison could smell his cologne mixed with sweat and rage. After today, you'll learn to show proper respect. Or maybe you'll just transfer like all the others. Either way, this ends with you understanding who has the real power here. Devon shifted uncomfortably. Among the pack, he'd always been the reluctant one, going along out of fear rather than enthusiasm. Yo, Ethan, maybe we should… Shut up! Ethan whirled on him. You going soft? Remember what happened to Brandon when he grew a conscience? The threat hung in the air. Brandon Torres, former teammate who'd tried to report the group's activities, had suffered a mysterious knee injury during practice that ended his athletic career. The message was clear: loyalty or consequences. Madison used the distraction to adjust her position, putting the setting sun at her back. Small advantages mattered. Last chance, she said quietly. Walk away now. And this ends with suspension. Keep going. And… Ethan's hand shot out, grabbing a fistful of her hair. Pain shot through her scalp as he yanked her head back. And what? You'll tell Teacher File, a report. We own this place, bitch. Time you learned that. Madison's eyes met his, and for the first time, Ethan saw something that made his confidence waver. The fear was gone, replaced by cold calculation. Her lips moved silently, not in prayer, but counting down. 3, 2, 1. Madison's body moved before conscious thought engaged. Years of muscle memory took control as she executed a perfect clinch entry, wrapping her arms around Ethan's neck and pulling him into the devastating embrace of Muay Thai. His eyes widened in shock as this small girl suddenly controlled his massive frame with technique that spoke of thousands of hours on the mat. The throw happened in slow motion to those watching, but lightning fast in reality. Madison pivoted her hips, twisted her core, and used Ethan's own momentum against him. 230 pounds of quarterback arrogance lifted off the ground, rotated through the air, and crashed onto unforgiving concrete with a sound like thunder. His head bounced once, twice before settling into stunned stillness. For a heartbeat, nobody moved. The parking lot held its breath, unable to process what they'd witnessed. Then Marcus roared forward, all thought replaced by rage. Madison flowed like water, stepping inside his wild haymaker. Her elbow came up in a classical sock T strike, connecting with his nose at the perfect angle. The crunch of breaking cartilage echoed across the asphalt, followed by a spray of blood that painted abstract patterns on the pavement. Tyler attacked from her blind spot, or what he thought was her blind spot. Madison had already registered his position, timing his approach by the sound of his footsteps. She spun low, dodging his tackle while simultaneously delivering a sock-tad horizontal elbow that caught him square in the face. His nose exploded in a fountain of crimson as momentum carried him past her to crash into a parked car. Jake hesitated for a fatal second, his football instincts warring with the primal fear of watching his unstoppable teammates get dismantled by someone half their size. That hesitation cost him. Madison closed the distance with explosive footwork, feinted low to draw his guard down, then launched a sockngad upward elbow that lifted him off his feet. His nose joined the casualty list, blood streaming through fingers that clutched his face in shock. Devon backpedaled frantically, hands raised in surrender. "I'm out! I'm out!" He tripped over his own feet, scrambling away on hands and knees before finding his footing and sprinting toward the main building. Madison let him go. She had bigger concerns than one coward. The entire sequence had taken less than 45 seconds. 3 of Westbridge's finest athletes lay groaning on blood-splattered concrete, while their smallest victim stood untouched in the center of the carnage. Madison's breathing remained controlled, her stance still ready, glasses somehow still perfectly in place despite the violence. She pulled out her phone, fingers steady as she dialed. 911, I need police and ambulances at Westbridge Elite Academy parking lot. 5 males attacked me. I defended myself. 3 have broken noses. 1 possible concussion. Please hurry. I have everything on video. As sirens wailed in the distance, Madison accessed her smartwatch's advanced interface. The device on her wrist represented more than fitness tracking. It was a comprehensive personal security system that had captured every second in vivid detail. The AI-powered analysis had already tagged critical moments the initial threat, the hair grab that constituted assault, her measured defensive response. Real-time biometric data proved her elevated stress levels during the attack, supporting her self-defense claim. The integrated legal assistance feature had automatically compiled a defensive force analysis, comparing her actions to state self-defense statutes. Most importantly, the emergency response system had notified authorities the moment it detected violent motion patterns, creating an official record that would be crucial in court. Marcus struggled to sit up, blood still pouring from his ruined nose. "You're dead," he gurgled through the flow. "When my dad finds out—" "Your dad, the district attorney," Madison interrupted calmly. "The one currently under FBI investigation for evidence tampering. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to add witness intimidation to his charges." The color drained from what was visible of Marcus's face beneath the blood. Madison turned to Tyler, who was conscious but clearly concussed. "Your father's construction company has the school renovation contract, right? Be a shame if someone reported those building code violations I documented. Asbestos in the science wing is serious business." She crouched beside Ethan, who was stirring groggily. "As for you, I've got 2 months of evidence. Every message, every photo you took without consent, every girl you've hurt. But here's the really interesting part. I've got recordings from your locker room, confessions, plans, that digital trophy list with 23 names. Your lawyers will love explaining that to a jury." The sirens grew louder. Madison stood, brushing imaginary dust from her thrift store jacket. "Oh, and Principal Bradshaw, I know you're watching from your office window. Wave to the cameras, all 7 of mine. Plus the 3 news crews that got anonymous tips to be here. Your resignation letter should probably mention the 47 harassment complaints you buried over the last 5 years." Police cars screeched into the parking lot, followed by ambulances and, predictably, news vans. Officer Kim was first on scene. Her hand resting on her weapon until she assessed the situation. Her eyes widened at the scene, 3 football players bleeding on the ground. 1 small girl standing calmly in the center. "Ma'am, I need you to—" Officer Kim began, then stopped as Madison handed over her phone. "Full video from multiple angles," Madison said. "I've also sent copies to my attorney, the ACLU, and backed up to 3 different cloud services. These 5 attacked me. I defended myself within legal parameters. You'll find my response was proportional to the threat." The next hours blurred together in a symphony of justice. Paramedics treated the injured athletes while police took statements. Principal Bradshaw arrived, his political smile cracking when he saw the news cameras already rolling. The narrative was set before he could spin it. 5 football players had cornered a small female student, and she'd defended herself with skills they never saw coming. The video went viral within hours. David versus Goliath in high school parking lot spread across social media like wildfire. The clinch and throw, captured from multiple angles, became an instant meme. Muay Thai gyms reported spike in female enrollment. Self-defense instructors used the footage in classes as an example of technique overcoming size. But the real explosion came when Madison released the full evidence cache that night. 23 victims came forward, empowered by seeing their tormentors bloodied and beaten. The locker room recordings created a criminal case that no amount of money could bury. The FBI expanded their investigation from Marcus's father to the entire network of enablers who'd protected the athletes for years. Within 72 hours, Westbridge Elite Academy imploded. Principal Bradshaw resigned in disgrace. Coach Daniels was arrested for conspiracy to cover up sexual assaults. The football program was suspended indefinitely. College recruiters withdrew scholarship offers. The Bradshaw family fortune evaporated in legal fees and settlements. Madison became an unlikely hero. Though she rejected most interview requests, she did appear on one podcast, explaining simply, "I wasn't trying to be inspirational. I just wanted to graduate in peace." But when predators mistake kindness for weakness, sometimes you have to show them how wrong they are. Months later, long after the criminal trials ended with guilty verdicts, Madison finally felt safe enough to let her guard down. She was packing for MIT, her full scholarship intact and future bright, when her secure phone buzzed with an encrypted message. The sender was anonymous, but the content made her blood chill. "Impressive work at Westbridge," the network has noticed. 15 schools on the attached list have similar problems, similar predators. Interested in continuing your work, the Guardians. Madison stared at the list, recognizing several elite institutions where rumors of systematic abuse had circulated for years. At the bottom was a single line of text. "They think you're done hunting. Show them they're wrong." She closed the message, mind racing. MIT could wait a gap year. There was work to be done. They thought she was prey. That was their first mistake, assuming the quiet scholarship girl with oversized glasses and second-hand clothes was just another victim waiting to happen. They saw her small frame and gentle demeanor and calculated easy target, never recognizing the patient hunter beneath the camouflage. For months, Madison had played the role perfectly, letting them circle closer, documenting their every move like a naturalist studying predictable beasts. They thought they were wolves and she was a rabbit. But wolves hunt in patterns, slaves to their instincts, while true apex predators adapt, evolve, strike when least expected. Now, as videos of bloodied athletes and shattered reputations circulated through every elite school in the country, a new fear took root. Every predator wondered, was that quiet girl in their chemistry class just shy? Or was she documenting their crimes? Was that scholarship student really helpless? Or was she trained, waiting, ready? Madison Hayes had flipped the entire ecosystem. The hunters became the hunted, paranoid and exposed. Turns out, she was the apex predator.